episode 11, curated and crafted episode 11. We are talking about the tables we sit at and the ones we want to be sitting at, right? And what it even requires for them to be at our table or what they have to have for us to be at their table. It's going to be an interesting combo. I'm interested in your perspective versus mine too, because I think our requirements will be different.
Yeah.
But I would love for you to kick us off.
All right, let's get started. So, welcome to Curate and Crafted. We're your hosts,
Dom
and Kinsey, two women building brands, businesses, and lives with soul. Here we pour out the real stories behind luxury brands, unforgettable events, and the mindset it takes to build something that lasts. No fluff, no filters, just the craft, the courage, and the conversations that matter. So grab a drink, get inspired, and let's craft something worth remembering.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So the table. So metaphorically, we're talking about sitting at a table, right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily physically sitting at a table. It might be that
Totally.
one day.
Yes.
But just to be clear with
Yes.
our audience, the table isn't physical. It's essentially who you surround yourself with, who you allow in your atmosphere, who you allow to have influence over you, and then also who you want to be around you. And so that's where we're at today.
Yeah.
I'm
So
excited.
good.
So we're going to start off with the pour. This is where we just check in, you and I. And then we can also dabble into a little bit of this. But what initially comes to your brain when you hear the table?
I find it interesting topic in the sense that how the table has turned.
Yeah.
Right? and over the years.
Are my titties out? Sorry.
They are not.
Okay. Sorry. The tables have turned. Sorry, go. Just want to double check before we go through the whole
they're
thing.
fabulous.
Okay.
They're fabulous. Do you want me to give you a sign if I think?
Yeah. What should be your facial expression for titties out? Yeah. Did you just stick your tongue at me like the motorboat me?
Like, this is going to get a lot of views. Damn it, if I knew that's what it took. Shit.
Tom, take your clothes off right now.
Right now.
That's so funny. Okay, I'm sorry for interrupting you.
That was great. I love it. Okay.
Okay.
Back in action. The tables have turned.
Yeah, tables have turned.
Yeah. I would just say, I think, too, over the years, it's very different of who sits at your table and why that's important about the energy of what is happening at the table, right? And what's being served and what's being dished out.
Absolutely. And I think that we're not talking about the dinner table parties or small events that you're going to. It's really talking about the people that pour into you and who you allow to pour into you, who you take advice from, who you, like I was saying earlier, allow to have any type of influence over your life and in which areas, right? Sometimes when I started thinking about this, I was like, oh, wait, I have like mini tables for different areas of my life.
Right.
And I didn't really put that into perspective until I really started to think about this. I was like, I have numerous tables or different areas of my life that I allow people to have influence over or that I go to for specific things. Yeah. And I trust their expertise in those areas. So I just think it's interesting that I realize how sacred my tables are.
Yeah, right. I think I'm at a place, too, where I value what I bring to the table.
Yeah.
More, right? I think for a long time I was fighting to be at certain tables, or in my brain thought that this is where I needed or wanted to be. And then you realize, why?
Yeah, and what we're going to get into is feeling like you're worthy to be at some and not at others, or feeling like you have to have something to bring to the table in order to be at the table. And I think that's a myth.
Right.
I think that you should be able to put yourself in whatever room you feel like it, whether you believe you have the same value or expertise as the person next to you, because that doesn't matter. Yeah. It doesn't need to matter. And that's a hard mindset shift for people, right? But we'll get into that.
Yeah, we will.
And I think that no matter what table I'm speaking of or thinking of, going back to the thought like, would Jesus approve of this person at my table?
Right.
Would it,
For sure.
Are they walking in that light in this space? Would they approve of this? So like, is it really something that I should be making the decision on, or do they check the boxes wholeheartedly, not just the ones I want them to check?
And is it filling your cup, right? Like that part, and giving back to what your true purpose is, and taking away or filling, right? And there'll be a combination of times where some are taking away because it is then going to replenish. So that wholeheartedly makes sense.
Give and take.
But oftentimes, if you're seeing that you're going to tables and you are just getting taken away from, right?
Yeah.
Energy drained and not put back in, it's a time to reevaluate and go,
realign.
why? Exactly.
Yeah.
Realign, redirection, right?
Yeah.
Like I have
It's
the
time
choice.
to open a seat.
Yeah, I have a choice. Am I going to sit at this table, or am I going to create my own?
Yeah. Well, that's a great way to even start us off, because we're talking about different tables of which we want to belong in and or be a part of. But then to your point, which ones that you create and who you want to bring in.
Right.
I think that's two different perspectives,
For
right?
sure.
Because it's certain rooms you want to put yourself in, you want people to learn from, where they aren't necessarily knowing they're pouring into you, but they are, right? But then you have the intimate circles who have like direct influence over your life. So I think this is a really interesting
For sure.
conversation.
Yeah.
You ready to get into it?
I'm ready to get into it.
Okay. If you don't set the table for your life, you'll be eating whatever's served.
Ooh. Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
I was like, damn. Like thinking about the table.
It's true.
If you don't set the table for your life or each area of your life, you are going to be fed whatever is being thrown your way. And I was like, damn, if that doesn't scream, you need to be intentional. You need to keep it sacred. You need to be on top of every little area. I was like,
Yeah. No, it's too. Look,
I was like,
you're like, this is something. Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is going to be a good combo. Okay, cool. So let's open it up right into our first section. Kins, I'm going to come at you first. So what tables have molded you into who you are today?
Great question. I would say probably, actually, really, my dining room table growing up as a kid. Like, honestly, that's where we had real conversations. That's where we sat and talked about our day, what was coming up, challenges.
Totally.
And I'm the youngest of 3 girls, but there's 9 years between my oldest sister and then 6 years between me and my middle sister. So I grew up in the youngest, but also an only child type environment where you have that influence from my sisters, but they were actually out of the house during my formative
years,
almost teenage years. Yeah, so I was an only child, and when my family was going through challenges, I was the only one home that had to be a part of that, experience it, and have those hard conversations. So to me, that is the root of learning. And then my dad also being an entrepreneur, working for corporate and then going off on his own, seeing the blessings, but also the hard times that come with
huge
that.
hardships.
Huge, right? And so knowing and seeing, and then sometimes going, why? Like, it's so hard. Why are you still doing this? Why aren't you going this, which would be the easy way, right? But that wouldn't fill his cup. That wasn't fueling him and
his
what
purpose.
He felt he could give and provide value, right? So seeing that would be the foundation of my table. And I think it's not until probably recently that, or over the last several years, that I started to realize too that I can then choose. And my table would be realizing that I was at the wrong tables. And I mean that from the people that I would surround myself with. I would leave, whether it was events or things that I felt like I was going to, but I was drained. I would leave like exhausted, and I'm like socially just exhausted. And I was like, what? And I don't think I realized it for a long time, but it was because of the people I was around, or the energy of which was happening.
Yeah.
Right?
I also think that it's sometimes like, it might not even be the specific people trying to drain you, but it's even just like the conversations they're having.
100%.
It's like, I don't even want to be talking about this. This is not even the type of stuff I want to be talking about.
Correct.
And why am I? And that's what leaves me being like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah,
I don't want to
you
be
are
drained.
so correct in the sense of when we talked about at the very beginning, multiple tables. And I think that's key and super important because if you're sitting at the same table all the time, I would get completely eating salad all day, every day. That's a whole lot of
Too
chewing.
much
Too much chewing. Right? So like having
Where's my
variety.
soups at?
Yes, having variety that fills different areas. And I don't think I didn't realize that how important that was, right? And so when you're leaving or staying in that same place that you're not getting fulfilled or trying new things, that it was just exhausting. And a lot of times it would be around people who were not understanding where I was in my life at that moment, right? So it would be the conversations were not, the conversations themselves were draining because it was like, why are you even talking about this? Why am I talking about it?
Exactly.
Exactly.
How I feel about anything with sports, like professional sports. I'm like, I can't put that information in my brain.
Totally. Right. Exactly. And then I think it was also understanding too of what that is. It's okay. Like it is what it is, and I can be grateful for that and get what that connection, that table at that moment in time has. Yeah. But I can't expect it to be more than what it is.
Yeah. And I don't love those people any less either. No. And it's just like we're in certain positions in our life that we need certain people in order to lift us up and to guide us and to push us through whatever chapter we're in. And we have to choose the right people to guide us through that. Right. And some of the people that we're even talking about here aren't even acknowledging what chapter you're going through. They don't even know what's going on, and they're unable to provide any value or help in it because one, you don't even feel comfortable asking them. Yeah. And I would think that's actually something that just clicked in my brain. Yeah. Like if I don't feel like I can go to someone to answer the question in this certain area of my life, I'm like, they don't belong at that table. Correct. Yeah. And I'm like, if I couldn't bring this topic up at this in this conversation or at this table or with these types of people, maybe they're not the right ones to talk about it, right? Like go find the right people that can feel you in the right areas. Yeah. And I know we're kind of talking arbitrarily, but for specific facts, right? Like I wouldn't go to my grandfather to talk womanhood. Right. Totally. Yes. I might call him about finances. Yep. I might call him about buying and selling gold because those are things that he's great at. But like I wouldn't go to him for business advice or cycle advice or whichever. So I have different people for those specific reasons. Yeah. And within your business, those advisors should have the receipts to help you get to the next place. Absolutely. Right? Like they should be able to say, hey, I've actually done it whatever 19 different ways. This is what I've seen best. This is what I could advise for you. I have the credentials to be making those suggestions to you. And I think that's really, and you can find that everywhere. Whether you know these people or not, you can start replacing the people in your lives with people online. Yeah, and then eventually you start showing up in those communities and realizing that you find your type of people that think and have the same type of conversations that you're missing out on. Yeah. So if you don't have what you need right now, you can find it elsewhere. You can find it online. Shift. Yeah. Realign as soon as somebody isn't right. Yeah. Boop.
For sure. And I don't want it to get confused with energy draining with something that seems challenging or uncomfortable, because that's very, very different. Being uncomfortable is actually a good thing. So important. It's you're on your next up level then when that is. You're putting yourself in a situation where you feel uncomfortable because you're not necessarily familiar with that, right? So that to me I think is a big differentiator that I don't want people to get confused when I said draining versus being uncomfortable, because it's super important to me.
And growth and uncomfortability are hand in hand. Yeah. Hand in hand. You can't get one without the other.
No. And you got to get used to being in that space. Because if you're not, forget about it.
Well, I mean, it's the magic sauce to create the environment for you to grow. So think about that. Hey, I want to do something new. My brain is going to tell me I'm not good at it. My brain is going to tell me all the reasons why I shouldn't. Oh, yeah. My brain is going to tell me I have no help. Yeah. My brain is going to tell me X, Y, and Z. So what do you need to do is get in front of the right type of people that will encourage you, that will support you, that will guide you, that will give you the first step, that will remind you that I don't care whether you've never done this before. You can do this. Yeah. Figure it out.
Yeah.
Go do whatever you feel like doing. If this is what fuels you, go do it.
Right. Totally.
Figure it out. And if there are people in your life saying you can't do those things,
Yeah.
that's a
You
realignment.
need to remove.
Yes.
Exactly.
And like, just to reiterate, we're not saying kick them out of your life.
No.
We're not saying you never need to
maybe.
talk to them again. I mean, yeah, I don't know. There might be some you need to let go. I'm okay with that. I'm good with dropping people. But that doesn't mean you have to say no to them for everything.
Right.
But if it's certain areas, you know this. Like, there's some dinner tables you can't bring up politics, right?
Yeah.
And you wouldn't go to them for political advice, right? Same thing. Financial, business, entrepreneurship,
Totally.
mindset, wellness, womanhood,
Exactly.
anything.
Yeah.
Find the right people that have the right receipts.
Yeah. for sure. And wholeheartedly. Yes.
And that give a shit about you,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And you'll know. You know who cares about you and who doesn't.
Yeah.
That's the energy, for sure.
For sure.
There are intentionalities around it.
All right. You ready, Miss Dom?
Yes.
What's the difference between outgrowing a table and avoiding discomfort?
Yeah, we kind of you
Kinda
kind of just
touched-
hit
yeah,
on it.
sorry
You
about
just
that.
hit. No, it's fine. We went right into it. This is. I sat on this for a minute and I was like, how do I know I'm outgrowing a table or I'm avoiding something uncomfortable? Personally, I don't normally avoid uncomfortable things. I am like, this is bothering me. We're gonna talk about it.
Yep.
I'm normally that way. So I don't think everyone's naturally that way either.
No.
And so that's something I had to learn over time because I realized that I can move much faster and I can when I go through the storm rather than try to avoid it.
Right.
The discomfort.
Yep.
And I think that, what is it, water buffaloes or buffaloes that do that? Where they
Yes.
run into the rainstorm
yep.
to get through it to the other side. Otherwise, it'll be chasing you.
Yep.
And that's how I kind of feel. Anytime that I am avoiding anything uncomfortable, it just follows me. Because it's usually the next piece that I need to finish in order to get to wherever the next level of growth is.
Yep.
And so anytime I feel like I'm avoiding something, I have the conversation of saying, is this something that really needs to get done or a conversation that really needs to be had in order to get me to the next level of something? Or is it something I should actually be removing from my plate? Because I think there's a lot of like minuscule tasks, right, that we get caught up in business that really shouldn't be on our plate, but we have to do.
You're right.
And I think that's a piece of it. And then the other piece of it is if you're avoiding it because it's difficult, not necessarily because it's annoying.
Yes. Yeah.
I think there's a difference.
For sure.
A difference there.
Yeah.
And one has a bigger impact than the other.
Yeah.
And I will say that I will feel like I'm outgrowing a table when I feel like I have to lead every conversation. And when it feels too peaceful, I would say. No, I'm serious. Because it's like, oh, I'm not coming up and showing up to this table and being like, oh, I learned something new.
Right.
I'm the one providing all of the conversation or the learning or the X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, I'm providing value for sure, but I'm not sure I'm receiving what I feel like I'm putting out, right? And I think that piece of like, oh yeah, I could just show up and it's not a big deal. That to me, I'm like,
Yeah.
am I just showing up because I need to or because I'm actually gaining something I need from this?
Right.
And that's where my table is like, when it becomes too peaceful and it becomes too like, I don't have to think
Yeah.
about it. I'm like, that's not a red flag because it doesn't matter. If it's not a bad table, you can sit at it for as long as you want. It's a comfortability place.
Right.
But if all of your tables become too comfortable and everyone's just yesing you to death and they're not willing to hold you accountable and to push you to wherever you want to go or say the things that need to be said at each of the tables and the areas of which we're coming to you for, it's just going to hold you back.
Right.
It's just going to keep you stagnant. And
For
then
sure.
there's some areas of my life that I want to be stagnant.
Yes.
There's some areas of my life I absolutely don't want to be. And
Yeah.
so I'm like, it's just different where
Yeah.
I'm like, if it's too peaceful, is it meant to be
Yeah.
or not?
Yeah. For sure. I think it makes complete sense.
Yeah. And so I'm like,
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily mean peaceful. Okay, do we need to be arguing or not? But it's more of like, the uncomfortability. Like,
Right.
ooh, am I getting a little nervous to talk here? Or am I getting a little nervous to ask this question? Am I getting, like, that's kind of the place I love being in, because I know that I'm
Stretching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the growth piece. I love to grow. It's
Yeah.
my human design is my number one skill is growth. I was like, so yeah, that's when I thought about it. I was like, I was like, is this peace or resistance, you know? I was like, we'll see. Good time.
Just give it time.
Exactly.
Yep.
Okay, so Kins, when did you realize it was time to build your own table? What does that look like?
It's interesting because you just touched on it. It's when I got tired of shrinking, right? I got tired of shrinking to sit at the table I was at. Not feeling like I was growing, being
Permission to
stretched.
dream big.
Right, absolutely. And I think it comes from all different tables. This has to do with work. It has to do also with energy and effort that I put into my own physical well-being, right? So where am I spending time? Am I doing workouts on my own? Am I going to a gym that pushes me and motivates me? Like, you know, you kind of have to reevaluate and decide those areas, those buckets of your life. And also the people I was spending my time with and surrounding my time with. Are those seats? Those seats are super important.
Yeah.
So I think it was when I realized, why am I feeling this way? Not feeling replenished, not feeling energized, not feeling excited. And it had to do with where I was spending my time and where I was sitting.
Yeah.
Or who I was allowed sitting at my table.
Yeah. I also sometimes feel like when I'm being used for my skills and creativity, but not my whole everything, if that makes sense. It's like, oh, they just want to pull
Piece of
me
me.
from
Yeah,
a
yeah.
piece of me over here and a piece of me over here. And, oh, call me when you need this. I'm like,
Yeah.
But you don't want to talk to me about what I want to talk about?
Right.
Do you know what I mean? I'm like,
Yes.
So it seems like a one-way thing, right?
Yeah.
And I think that comes over time. That's not always something that shows up right away. Now, I do think that women have a great intuition and our gut is incredible. And if you're in tune with yourself, you can definitely listen to that more often than not, and do listen to it.
Right.
Please listen to it. But I think that I have to be able to say, I don't need to be 1,000% Dom always, but if I don't have the opportunity to show up and just be allowed to be who I want to be,
Yes.
then I'm like,
Yep.
maybe this ain't right for me.
No, for sure. For sure. I think too, that's kind of where liquid caterers came from, was right. It didn't exist. We had to create it, right? We created one activation, one team member, one SOP at a time. And we're continually doing it, like
Nonstop.
nonstop. But do you know, like it is, and I think that is where growth, change, and that mindset shift
Happens.
constantly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna, growth is like one of my favorite things to do. I'm like, things can always be better. And I'm like, well, my brain can think of 400 different ways to do it. So if this way didn't work, we'll try one of the other 399 ways.
Right. No, it's true. It's very true. And I think that's a critical component, right?
Yeah.
If you don't try things, we don't know if they're going to work. But then we have to also then go, it's okay if it didn't work.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we get so stuck of, it has to work. No.
And it does. It just might not look in the way that you thought it did.
Yes.
Right? Like, how many times have you met someone and you're like, oh my gosh, I had this immediate connection with them. I didn't know I needed you in my life.
Yeah, for sure.
And you're like, oh, wait, I really needed you. God knew I needed
Yes.
you. Right? And you're like, I'm never letting you go. Sometimes you just meet friends that you're like, you're going to be in my life forever.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason it is, you're going to be in my life forever. You know that immediately. Those are your people.
Yeah.
Like, those are that feeling is how you should feel with the closest people to you.
Yes.
And obviously we're talking about different tables, right? And advisors and
Yeah.
people that can help you. But overarching, how many times have you heard the first 5 people in your life or closest to you are the most important?
Yes.
And that's wholehearted. And that's just like high level of what we're talking about here, but huge impact.
Yeah.
Huge impact, whether they're pulling you down, shrinking you, or pushing you, or motivating you, or even just support.
Yeah.
Like, the support is huge.
Well, you just brought up something too. I think sometimes people don't realize that they, like we talked about earlier, can have multiple tables and
Yes.
change the people that are at the table. I think that sometimes we think that we have to stay in the same groups or do the same thing all the time, and they don't realize what a difference it would make if they changed it up.
Yeah. Or when God closes a door, it's usually on purpose.
On purpose. For sure.
And he's opening up more space for you for things that are meant for you and meant to push you where you want to go.
Yeah.
I'm like, because if the path that you're following isn't lead you where to go, you have full permission to change that and to create the freaking path that you want to make. That's what entrepreneurship is.
Yep.
Like, how else does that sum that up? Entrepreneurship is creating your own paths, solving a problem your way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Done.
Sure. All right, Dom, question for you. How do you stay authentic in rooms you once dreamed of being in?
Okay, so first off, authenticity in itself, I think, is important to clarify.
Yeah.
And
Please,
I think authenticity, I get compliments all the time, like, Dom, you're always authentically you. Like, you're unapologetically you. Yeah. And I was like, why do people say that to me? And why don't they feel that way about themselves? I'm like, I'm just me, right? Like, I just show up and be me. And then to your point, I have to get in more conversations and realize that's not always the case for everybody. So what is it that I do that I can stay unapologetically me and have that authenticity? That authenticity for me really comes from a deep level of self-awareness. And I don't think you can be authentic without diving deep first, because the authenticity comes from me knowing why I am the way I am, how I can show up, when I'm going to show up, what I'm looking for, why I'm looking for it, and unashamed of my story that has led me to where I am right now. And I don't think I can be authentic without having that level of self-awareness. Now, I will say that doesn't mean you don't get nervous.
Right.
And that doesn't mean you need to shift who you are to be in those rooms. And if you feel like you need to do that, those might not be the rooms or the tables that you need to be in. Yeah. And so for me, I still get nervous in those rooms that I dream big in, but I always walk into them with no expectations, with an open mind, willing to share, willing to be vulnerable, and willing to say, I'm not expecting to get anything, but I'm willing to do whatever I can to help whoever I meet. And if I lead with value first, it just pours back. And so my biggest thing I would say for sure is walk into those rooms saying, what can I learn? How can I help? Even if it's not the way that they could help you. Yeah, for sure. It doesn't need to be. That's the whole freaking point. Yeah. Right? And so back to the beginning of our conversations of thinking if you're worthy enough to be in those rooms, it's irrelevant. Because what you bring, your own special sauce in your own authenticity, you have no idea how much people need that. But you have to be willing to show up and be vulnerable enough to ask those uncomfortable questions, to share those uncomfortable things, for them to also be vulnerable with you and be willing to pour into you. And so I think that it's okay to be nervous in those rooms, but just be yourself. It's okay. Dive deep into you and realize, like, why am I scared to show up not as myself? Is it them or is it me? Because usually it's us. For sure. Yes. Because I will walk into rooms full unapologetically me, and you'll know if they don't want me there and my energy. And it's great. See ya. Yeah, on to the next. Yeah, because I'll find the rooms that want me, right? Yeah. But I think it's self-awareness, provide value, have no expectations, but have requirements. You say, I'm not going to show up to these rooms or tables unless they have X, Y, and Z. Right. Unless they support X, Y, and Z. Unless they commit to X, Y, and Z, whatever the case may be. But then just show up as yourself. Know that, lead with value, love on the person next to you, and I promise those doors. They bust through them. Yeah. You find your people. That's right. Real quick. Even when you're like, oh, wait, you want to be my friend and you're like 6 levels ahead of me? Like, what? And they're like, what do you mean? I'm not 6 levels ahead of you. You're 6 levels ahead of me over here, but I'm 6 levels behind you over here. How many times have we realized that? Yeah. And I think just to touch on that, it's like if you're in a room, like you just said, and it's not aligned, that's not like rejection. It's a place for you to then find a place that you get to go and become realigned, right? Like go
find something that is worth it, that is going to provide all the things that you just mentioned that were so important.
Yeah.
It's like a redirection. I'm going to redirect my focus of where I feel I should be spending my time, energy, and efforts.
Yeah, and listen to those signs, because those signs of saying you shouldn't be in that room, don't beg to be.
Right.
Because if you end up going into a room that actually accepts you, you'll thrive there. You'll grow faster. Those roadblocks won't be there. But if you're forced to be in those rooms, I'll pray for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I wouldn't want to be there either. But and that, it could be tough, because sometimes you're put in situations that you can't control. But the ones that you can, let those fill your cup.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, I love it.
Seriously.
I love it.
Okay. I also wrote down this quote, which I thought was really cool, but it says, stay humble enough to learn, but confident enough to lead. And I think that's huge when you're trying to show up in rooms that you don't necessarily think you can stay authentic or you belong in.
Yeah.
Because if I just show up and say, listen, I'm ready to learn. I don't know what to expect from here. I don't know what I'm going to get, but I'm here and I'm open and I'm ready. But then also at the same time, you're able to say, this is the path that I'm looking to build. This is the life that I'm looking to build. And I am standing in my ownership of that, my leadership of this is the life that I'm making. Just, that's it. It's really that simple. I know it sounds like I should be saying more.
No. I have a quote too. It says, to me, it was, the table is a reflection of your standards. If you don't like the conversation, stop serving it. You get to protect your space, and you get to grow it too. So it's exactly with what you're saying. Like, and I think sometimes we don't take ownership of protecting it and growing it.
Yeah.
We have that.
Or we're so busy we don't even think about it.
Yeah.
So this is your reminder to pause for a second
Yeah.
and pay attention. Because sometimes you don't realize you have a cancer amongst your mist.
Yes.
That's like, oh shit. I should handle this now.
Yeah.
But just not paying attention because it's just go.
Yeah.
Or not having the right uncomfortable conversations to even realize it, right?
Yeah.
And so it happens to all of us. We all get caught up in it. We all just get caught up in the routine and the flow and just the day-to-day. And it's like, oh, wait, pause.
Yeah.
I get to be in control here. That's what entrepreneurship is. I get to lead this life with purpose.
Yeah.
And I get to make these changes. And I get to serve up.
That's right.
At the tables I want to be at, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of serving with liquid caterers,
right.
it's like kind of spot on. Our whole topic today,
Yeah, it
literally. Do you have anything in general that you want to add about this?
No, I've enjoyed this.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Yeah.
That's it for this round of Curated and Crafted. The process is messy. The vision is worth it. Stay rooted, stay bold, and we'll catch you next time.
Yes.
Done.
Cheers.
Okay, done. I like it.
I like it.
That was a good one.
Now talking about sitting at tables makes me hungry.
I know. I'm glad I actually ate something before we came in here. Seriously. Does it feed your soul?
Feed my soul.
Does your table feed your soul? Does it feed your pockets? Does it feed your energy? Does it feed that part?
Yeah. Yeah.
Does it feed all of them? That would be nice.
Right. Yes, please. And what's it fueling you with, right?
Yeah.